Alright, this is exactly why we're gonna work on today's project. All this rain. But it, what do you, what time even is it? Hello, current friends and maybe friends alike. My name is Marchelin. You can call me March, and welcome to today's adventure. I've got a special one planned today, and one I've been looking forward to all week. Trust me. While I could keep it a surprise, I think the thumbnail is probably going to give it away, so I might as well just say it. Today, we are building a clock tower for our village. I am sick and tired of not knowing what time it is. Yes, we have the sun, but it rains up here fairly often. I'm also sick of these merchants. Why is it every time I start an episode, that's when they show up? That's alright. You guys are fine. You don't bring me cool stuff that I can actually use, but you're fine. Honestly, if I had like a good source of emeralds, I probably would be interested in buying this gunpowder. I'm gonna need a lot of that at some point. But unfortunately, today is not the day. Right. Anyway, so I'm gonna be building a clock tower today. That way that wherever I am in the village, I can just take a look at that big clock tower in the sky, and I'll know what time it is, regardless of the weather. Okay, just ignore the sun. Sometimes it's this, like, yes, we have the sun, but I think it's just gonna be a really cool landmark for the village. So either way, I'm just gonna do it. We have our beacon from last time. This is cool. I moved it up the hill just to get a little bit closer to this project that I'm going to be working on, because I'm going to be putting the clock tower right up here, right up on the hill where it's going to be really easy to see. Now, the cool thing about the clock tower is that it's got a little bit of a secret going on, one that I will save for the end of the video. Suffice to say that this will be a working clock tower. How I'm gonna make a working clock tower? Well, you're just gonna have to watch the episode to find out. That said, I do have quite the shopping list that I need to make this project a reality. I have a lot of construction blocks that I'm gonna be needing. Some of them are pretty basic and easy, other ones not so much. And I also have a lot of redstone components that I'm gonna need to make some of this work. As well as just some extra pieces that are just more for flair or for my own, like, use that I don't have. And those might actually be some of the more interesting. In particular, highlights, I'm going to need some scaffolding because I'm not going to build this project without it, which means I'm going to have to go find a jungle biome. Actually, I know where one is. I've done some scouting, but I have not been in it. So we'll pop over there pretty soon, grab some bamboo for scaffolding, and just for our own grow purposes. The other block of interest I'm going to need is at least one bell, and that's going to be a bit trickier, especially because I hate stealing bells from villages, but we'll see if I get to that point. It's either I steal a bell from a village, or I go to one of our nearby villages and work up like a weapon or a toolsmith, I think, in trading, just to get a bell. So that's gonna be a to-do. Anyway, I'm gonna start just by making a bunch of the redstone components, considering I have all of this stuff in my inventory, and then put it in my construction chest. That's my junk chest. This is the construction chest. I have a couple of new tools in my inventory as well while I'm here in my crafting, like while I'm making these comparators. I have a diamond axe because I was doing a lot of wood chopping, and I'm going to continue to do a lot of wood chopping. Pretty good axe. I wish I could get efficiency 5 on it, but so far I've been pretty unlucky. I made a silk touch axe. I made 2 and then 3 axes, except they didn't have any extra like enchantments on them, or at least the Fortune 3 one didn't, so haven't quite been able to get this up to efficiency 5. Soon though. Okay, the comparators, the pistons, a little bit of redstone dust, because I'm probably going to need that too. So I'll take care of the trapdoors. That's most of my redstone components. I am still going to need some redstone torches just normally. How do you make target blocks? Ooh, not, well, you start by spelling it right, that's for sure. Hay bales. Interesting. Okay, I have some of those. Target blocks. I'll be honest, I don't know how to use these in Redstone 100%. Okay, please excuse the mess. I'm working on a reed farm down here. It's going to look really nice once it's set into the floor, and after our paper shortage from the last episode, I figured I could really use it. It's not done, and I kind of ran out of time earlier in the week to work on this. I could finish it, but I have other plans. Like, first major thing on the list today is getting more clay. So I'm going to go back into the lush caves, quickly grab some clay, and then while I'm over in that part of the world, I'll head towards that jungle that I'm aware of. And we can grab some bamboo. So I'll meet you over there. Any gas today? No? No floating friends? Okay, good. I'll play with you guys another day. Brrr. 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 If I do it long enough, do you think it will fool them? Ooh, wait. Oh, it's an axolotl. Oh, it's 2 axolotls. Oh, it's many axolotls. Oh, that's cool. I can catch one of you guys. How do you... how do you get them in the bucket? I had it! There we go! The cutest predator! So cute! We can get this yellow one too. Actually, maybe we should just get all of them if we're gonna take them. And it would be really rude just to leave one. There we go. 3 axolotls. Not what I came here for, but very cool. Alright, 5 stacks of clay. I hope that's enough. I actually might want more, but I think it will be good for this project at least. And I can always come back here very easily if I do need more. But this should at least get me through what I'm doing today. That almost got me. Oh no. Alright, well, on to the next jungle. Hello? I don't think this is a good idea for you. Yeah. I'm gonna need a boat. And on our left, we'll see a flower field. Very pretty. Ooh, ah. I grabbed some tulips from there at one point when I was exploring. I'll probably be back. What I haven't actually seen are sunflowers. I have not seen any sunflowers yet. So if I happen across those, I will be picking some up. Now, if I can direct your attention to the right of the boat, we will see a sea temple off in the distance. And on the left side of our boat, we have our jungle. And bamboo is right there, so this is going to be a pretty easy grab and get. Okay, and... oh, this is a very gratifying noise. Do love it. Oh, I should get some jungle saplings while I'm here, huh? Is this Podzol? Podzol. Well, it would have been Podzol, right? What happens if I silk touch it? I wonder how that works. Maybe I need silk touch on a shovel? Or I'm just wrong? That's always a possibility. I have to grab one of these. just be rude if we didn't. No one saw that. No one saw anything. Wait, sunflowers? Totally. Those are definitely sunflowers. Oh, cool. I passed right by them so many times, probably because the sun was in the right, like just the right direction. Aw, yay. You know, sometimes all you have to do is just say it out loud and it will just manifest itself into reality. All right, we got a full stack of sunflowers. How cool. I'm definitely going to be using these around like our mountain home for lots of decoration in the future. Very excited by that. Less excited by this. I do like the rain, but it is going to make getting home a little bit just a little bit more dangerous. I mean, honestly, nothing really beats just sort of like sitting in your house, drinking tea, listening to the rain fall on the roof. It's very relaxing. Oh, that's actually really helpful. There's my wither fight platform. That helps mark that area out really well. Not what I intended that for, but hey, I'll take it. All right, we're back at our lovely base. This area needs some work. Regardless, that was a really successful trip. Not only did we get all the clay we needed for my project that I'm going to be working on, we also encountered 3 new axolotl friends who we'll definitely build a little home for in the future. Probably down here. This sounds kind of fun. Maybe over where I have that mushroom farm. Maybe that can become the axolotl pool. That'd be cool. We will have to go to a jungle again in the future because I need cocoa beans. And also, you know, adventure. So we have a stack of sunflowers that I will definitely use for decorating purposes moving forward. Or just like a nice sunflower field, too. Have our own up here. That'd be cool. Ooh, yeah, and if they follow the sun, that could also help tell me what time it is when it's raining. So maybe some sunflowers by the clock that we're about to build. That sounds like a good idea. Anyway, I'm gonna wait for all this clay to bake and get back to you. Ooh. Okay, well, I didn't come down here for this, but, oh, how... We found another one. Okay. How do I get you back up there? We're gonna help you. Okay, let's see. What are we gonna do about this? Come on. That means that in the future we're gonna have another new person. Well, as long as it all goes. Why did I do this? Why did I do this? I was just waiting for the clay to bake. I'm still waiting on that. I came down here for string. Oh. Whoop. Oh, sorry. I'm figuring this out. Maybe a minecart is a better idea. Are you trapped under there? Well, not my intention, but hey, if it works, it works. It's not what I thought I'd be doing today, but that's most of Minecraft for me. Uh-oh. What is this block? It's polished alright, but why is it here? I must have placed it, but why did I place it? What is it doing? Where am I? Oh, is this behind my enchanting table? That would be ideal. Oh, heck yes. Success. Okay. Get up here. Okay. Good enough. Hold on right there. Who saw this coming? Hello, future friends. I dub thee May. I'm gonna help you one day. On the plus side, while we were doing all of that, I would suspect, yep, all of my terracotta is baked. Great. Here we are with our shopping list. We have a ton of terracotta, which I actually don't need most of this currently, other than just using it for like where I want to place my redstone circuits. We have most of our construction blocks, which included a lot of birch and a fair amount of spruce. What we're really missing just to get this whole thing rolling and ready to build this clock tower is the bell. The bell is like the big important part to me. Without that, the build just is not the same. Now, my original plans called for heading to one of the nearby villages and trading with their tool and or weaponsmith in order to get the bell trade unlocked. But finding May kind of changes things, doesn't it? This does mean, of course, that I'll be sharing my room, my house, with another house guest for a while. I might spend some time out of my house more often for a little bit. Just until May warms up to me. Yes, this time I mix the potion just a little bit differently. I think I've perfected the recipe, so no more rabbit ears. With any luck. I hope. Oh goodness, I hope so. Oh no. Maybe she won't notice. I mean, the sword, I don't really care about so much, but the coal trade is important for getting May leveled up to the next level. So that's the one I'm looking for, which means I'm gonna go get some coal and make that trade. I'm holding coal. I can make that trade. Well, at least you're locked into that trade now, which is good. I'm gonna go grab a little bit more. I see the sword. It's very pretty. Okay, this should do it. That should level you up. There it goes. And here's the bell. 9 diamonds. That's actually so much better than 36. Ooh. That would have been terrible. But this iron trade, though, yes, the iron trade is great. We're now, thanks to May, which she's being very kind to me. We now have a really good way just to make emeralds, which means if we ever wanted to trade with those merchants, if they ever did bring us anything good, not holding my breath, then we can. All right. Well, I'm gonna leave May to sort of get used to not being dead anymore. Always good. And I'm gonna get started on that build. We can finally start building the clock tower. My shopping list is complete. I have the area prepared. We're ready to get started. First step, we're gonna dig out a hole underneath all of this for what redstone I'm using. So, gonna get started on that. I've got the hole dug and our space for the redstone. I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be enough space, but I think I can fit it all in here. I'm going to try my hardest. Other thing, too, is that I'm just going to put this glass up here. And this one piece of smooth stone. Because that is going to be a very critical part of our build. With the bell in place, let's actually put all of our redstone circuitry in here. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what all of this does necessarily. I'll give you like the brief overview, but know that for a couple of these circuits, I didn't design them. I just scour the internet for good ideas when I need something to work. So in this case, I needed a What are they called? I needed a pulse multiplier, which takes one pulse and makes it into several pulses. And then I needed a pulse divider because the multiplication was too fast and I needed to slow it down. Anyway, very silly. Let's get going. We have the first circuit in place. Here's what we've got so far. We have a daylight detector set to its inverted mode, which just pulls light data from the sky, I guess. I don't really know. What it does do, though, is once it has enough power, it's going to power this piston, but only temporarily, considering I'm going to put gravel here. That will send that will turn like a on signal into a pulse, which will then go through these note blocks. Cool. All right, next circuit. All right, next circuit is in place. This is a redstone multiplier. It's going to turn one pulse into multiple pulses. In this case, 24 of them. So that's what it looks like. And that should, I'm not actually counting, blink 24 times. Basically, one for every single dirt block that went through the system. Now, this does have a cooldown period. You can't just keep repeating, like repetitively hitting this button until all of the, in this case, dirt, ends up back in the dropper. Just FYI. Okay, next circuit. So what should happen is that when this goes off 24 times, well, we'll see. We should hear, I think, 4 bell strikes. Nope, there's one. Perfect. With that, we have a lot of like just the redstone part of this done. Now we're gonna move on to the actual build of the clock tower before moving on to some true magic. For the time being tonight, I think this is where I'm gonna leave off this tower. Um, it's looking pretty good. I would love to do some like landscaping and stuff, but as is always the case, when you have a big project in mind, it takes way longer than you think it will. And, well, you just can't do everything in one sitting. But this is the basic of the tower done. And it's pretty much ready to go. Let me give you the tour and show you how it works. So earlier you saw down here, we have our redstone components. Now that the tower is done, do I have my gravel? I do. We can stick this here. And so now that bell will activate 4 times when it gets dark. That also includes rain and stuff, but whatever. Inside our tower, we just have the bell that rings and our staircase. Now, it's not really looking too grand in here just yet, but I think styling the inside of the tower and also the outside will have to just, that'll be a future endeavor. I have this little mechanism up here. All it is meant to do is make a ticking noise. So if I throw some gravel in there, it ticks. But this isn't where I was going with a working clock. No, I have a bigger surprise than that. Now, obviously, getting pistons into this space and doing something with whatever these blocks are, probably not going to happen. However, what I can do, and hopefully I've done this right. Okay, glowing item frame. Oh, it's dark already? Oh, look at that! It's working. Maybe it's raining or something. I didn't think it was night. Regardless, I'm gonna place the all-important clock in here, called Timekeeper. Alright, I've come up the hill to see if it works. Also, in that time lapse, yep, fell off the scaffolding twice, died. It was a good time. Please. Yay. Oh, there it is. Yes, as expected. I did it. That is our working clock. Look at it go. It went from the morning position into the late morning position. Another way to look at it is wherever the gold block is, which represents the sun, there it is. I'm on the wrong side of the tower for this demonstration. I should be on the other side. But essentially, wherever the gold block is, that's about where the sun is in the sky. If you were to picture this as the horizon. Anyway, I'm super happy that this works. How does it work? You might want to know. Well, remember that little clock that I just placed in the tower 5 seconds ago? Well, that's no ordinary clock. That's a magic clock. And by a magic clock, I mean I used a lot of command blocks to make this work. Yeah, this whole thing is basically running off of command blocks. Sort of. I'm gonna see if I can give you there it goes again, there it goes again. I'm gonna see if I can give you sort of the Cliff Notes version. Command blocks, if you're not familiar with them, are a block that you can get in Minecraft, although not in survival, where at the push of a button, it can execute game code. Anything the game can do, these blocks can do. Push a button, gives you 64 stone. But it can do so much more stuff, like moving the player around or keeping track of scores. Now in my case, I have command blocks that are asking the game, what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? They're asking it all the time. Every single tick that updates in Minecraft, they're asking what time it is. Once it hits a certain time, I have command blocks that say, okay, if it's that time, put this configuration on each face of the clock into this pattern. This wasn't easy. And actually, let me tell you how it gets a little bit more complicated. I'm not actually using command blocks. So that physical block I was just talking about that sits in the game world, nope, scratch that. Not happening. What's actually happening is I'm using a thing called data packs, which I just found out about last week. I'm going to link a really cool video in the description that explains to me how data packs work and how to set it up for your world. But essentially, depending on how you look at it, it is vanilla Minecraft. So that's pretty cool. Regardless, data packs let you run command block code, that physical block, but instead of it being in the game world, they're running it from your save folder. Yeah, right? So I coded something like 3,000 lines of script because that's how many blocks it took to get this clock thing working. I'm going to take a moment to just say that that was a lot of work, and I certainly won't be doing it for every build, but when I figure out a way to give something a little bit more flair, I might do it again. My intention is never to use command blocks to cheat or to like give myself an advantage. I'm only ever going to use like the data packs or the command blocks, really the data packs, because I don't want to put the physical command block in my world. But I will only use those when it's like an aesthetic function. Look at this right now. Should be noon. Boom. Noon. Love it. It's working. Yeah, I'm only ever going to use data packs when there's like nothing for me to be gained from doing this. I'm not looking to do that to get like an advantage. It would defeat the whole purpose for me of playing in a survival world and trying to get all the advancements. But for something just like artistic like this, it's okay. You guys would have to tell me what you think. But I mean, come on, can you really argue how cool that is? And it's going to give the village just like a whole new landmark. And this is exactly why I built it. Even when it's raining, perfect timing, thank you, game. Even when it's raining, I'll know what time it is. Like, it's still closer to noon than anything. So I don't have to go running for my bed. Oh, it just ticked over. Now it's like mid-afternoon. See, it's perfect. It's so good. I'm so happy with how this came out. I love that how I love it in the village. I'd love to do some landscaping and making the tower look a little bit prettier and a little less like just there, but that's gonna have to come in another episode. So everyone, I want to thank you all for watching and joining me on today's adventure. I'm really happy with the progress we made today. We built a clock tower, we made a brand new friend, we accidentally gave that friend rabbit ears. I think she's still a little mad at me, but she's gonna warm up in time, I hope. Probably. Maybe. Oh no, I don't know if that's the face of happiness. Anyway. Everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you stay well, and I hope I get to see you on my next adventure. So until then, bye!